from Sarah to my bag in Japan pattern. I will be showing you the trickiest parts of the pattern. So let's begin right away. Here I have just created my center segment, segment C, in color black. So I've chained 11 stitches, then worked 10 rows of 10 single crochet. Here I have landed on the back side, as you see, because the beginning tail is on the right side, and I have already chained one, and I'm ready to show you the segment D, the decrease segment, which is done like this. So you turn your work and work in single crochet, but instead of working 10 single crochet, we are decreasing, so we are working 9 single crochets. 1, 2, so here are my 9 single crochets done. Now, without chaining one, I will turn my work, bring the yarn to the back, and I will make a slip stitch, not here, which would be the first stitch, but here. Okay, so slip stitch. Now I have moved with my hook to the stitch I wanted to. Here I will chain one and work 8 stitches across, starting from the very same one I've just worked in. So from here, this is 1, then I will work further 7 single crochets here, 7 plus 1, 8 single crochets in all. And 8. Now this time I do chain one and turn my work. Now I work 7 single crochets across. This is the front part. I've worked 7 single crochets, and just like before, I will turn my work without chaining one and make a slip stitch in the second stitch from the hook. And just like before, I will chain one and work the stitches, which are 6 now for this row, starting from the very same one I've just worked in. So 1, and 6. So throughout the pattern, you will be working even rows when working outward the center of your work, and odd rows when you're working towards the center, so on the inside, going inside. Okay, just for a reminder, let's say. Here I will chain one, turn, and now you know how I proceed. So I will speed up my work, and I will see you at the end of my decrease segment. So this is my 9th row, row number 9, and I've just worked 2 single crochets. So now I chain one, turn my work, and work my 1 single crochet starting from here. Then I chain 1. Okay, and this is from here to here, the decrease segment created. Now, going on with my pattern, I should cut off yarn I will not be doing it right now, but in the pattern you need to cut off yarn. And I will attach my my next yarn, which is a strong gray yarn. So what I do is I rotate my piece by 90 degrees towards right. I take my gray yarn and attach it here. I will show you. You see, take a look at your piece. You have just created by decreasing this sort of ladder here. So this is very important to notice it. So this, at the beginning of the ladder, is where you will insert your hook. So right here, you see? This is where you attach yarn or where you insert your hook when you don't need to change yarn, okay? In this case, we need to change yarn, so we do so. So now we are working in this direction. So we are going up like this and working rows after rows like so until we cover this piece. Okay, so we are chaining one, we chain one, and we make our first single crochet in the very same stitch. Here, single crochet. Now, the trickiest part of it is to understand where to slip stitch. We need to attach our work to the diagonal, to the ladder we have just formed by decreasing. We will slip stitch at first here, here, and in this way I have attached my work to the diagonal. Now I should start increasing, because this is the increase segment. And instead of chaining one so as to turn my work, I will chain one like this. So I will slip stitch in the adjacent or next best stitch on the ladder, on the diagonal. And in this case, it is for me here. Can you see it? So if you see these bars here that are kind of vertical, this is where I am slip stitching. So this slip stitch counts as a chain one for me. So now I turn my work, bring the yarn to the back. I need to increase, so I will work 2 single crochets starting from here. So 1 and 2 here. Now I will chain 1 and turn. So as I said, a odd number of stitches is worked when you're going towards the center of your piece, to the inside, let's say. So now I need to work 3 single crochets in row number 3. So 1 is here, 2 is right here, you see, and 3 is here, right here, where I have made my second slip stitch before, the one that counted as chain number 1. Make my 3rd single crochet, and here I will slip stitch again. So you can see that the first slip stitch, the one that attaches your segment to the previous segment, is on the same line, on the same line of the row you're working in. like so, and does not count as a stitch. And the second slip stitch is made here above, not here but here. Okay, now I turn my work, and in row number 4 I need to work 4 single crochets. So if you don't know where to insert your hook here, just count the stitches so as to know where to insert your hook. So this is the last one. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is where I need to insert my hook for the first stitch of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1, turn. So now I need to work 5 single crochets in row number 5, starting from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th is worked here. Single crochets. You can see them, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I slip stitch here on the same line next to it. And the second slip stitch is made not here but here. Then I turn. Once again, I'm going outwards, I'm working outwards, so I will need to work an even number of stitches, which is 6, I believe. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is where I need to insert my hook right now. Okay. 1, 5 and 6, and so on. So chain 1, turn, row number 7, 7 single crochets. 1, 6 is here, and 7th is here. Now slip stitch on the same line, and the other slip stitch is here. Now I turn, row 8, chain 1, turn. You see that we are approaching the end of our ladder, of our diagonal. Eight. The 9th stitch is done here where our second slip stitch was. This is number 9. So I slip stitch here. Then my second slip stitch that counts as chain 1 is done here, right on the border. Slip stitch. So we turn and we work 10 single crochets starting from here. And 10. Now I chain 1, turn, and this is my increase segment finished. You can see it. Now I need to do another decrease segment, which is done just like I've shown you before. So I will show you the beginning and then I'll see you at the end of it. So row 1 of segment D, decrease segment, is made of 9 single crochets. Nine. Then, just like I've shown you before, you turn without chaining 1, then slip stitch in the second stitch from the hook, chain 1, 1 single crochet in same stitch, and now you need to decrease farther on. So this row, which is the second row of the decrease segment, is made of 8 stitches. This is 1, this is 2, 3, and 8. Now I chain 1, turn my work, and work 7 single crochets, then 6, then 5, until I'm left with just 1. And then I will see you at the end of my decrease segment to show you how I work on. So here I am at the end of my decrease segment. I have worked my last single crochet, then I've chained 1, just like I've shown you before. Now, once again, I rotate my work towards right by 90 degrees, and I start working a increase segment. So this time I'm not cutting off yarn, but I'm keep on using the gray one as given in the pattern. So once again, just like before, I'm going to make my first single crochet by inserting the hook here. I need to go under these 2 bars, the first step of the ladder, and I work a single crochet, then I slip stitch here on the same line, and then I make my second slip stitch, which is done not here, so I sort of skip the very next adjacent stitch on the diagonal, and I insert it here. And I'm doing this in order to make the same number of rows as the steps of the ladder is. So just like before, my second slip stitch counts as chain 1. I turn, count my stitches, 1, 2, and I need to increase by 1 single crochet. So here I have 2 single crochets, then I chain 1, and then I will keep on increasing just like I've shown you before until I'm back to my 10 single crochets, and I will see you at the end of this segment as well. So here I am almost at the end of my increase segment again. I've just worked 9 single crochets here, and I wanted to show you how to make this joining piece here, which could be a little bit tricky just at first. So here I've worked 9 single crochets, as I said. So I slip stitch here. You see, right here is my first slip stitch. And my second slip stitch is done here, which in this case is the stitch that's immediately after my first slip stitch. Slip stitch, that counts as a chain 1. Now I turn and work my last row of the increase segment, which is made of 10 single crochets, starting from here. 1, 9, and 10. Now I chain 1, turn my work. So now I need to work a B segment, which is the body part of the work, where I need to work very simply in rows of 10 single crochets going up in this direction, but I need to attach them to the body part of my segment C, of my center segment, and I need to make sure that the rows, the new rows I create here, correspond and match the ones I've created here. So the first thing to do is maybe to count the rows and identify them so as to be sure to insert the hook in the right places. Okay, so let's say I've counted the rows. Maybe just for the very beginning, it could be useful to insert stitch markers in each row so as not to get lost or to make mistakes. Okay, then in time, as you work on, this will be absolutely easy to do spontaneously. So now I'm working the row number 1 of my B segment, of my segment B, the body part. So each row is made of 10 single crochets. So 1, 2, 9, and my 10th single crochet is worked here, right here. Now, as I said, I need to attach my work to this side. So I will first make a slip stitch on the corresponding line, which is here. Okay. Then, just like I do in the increase segment, in order to turn my work, I should need to chain 1, but in this case, I instead of making a chain 1, I will make another slip stitch in the following row here on segment B, which, if you have counted correctly, should be here. Okay, so a slip stitch. This counts as a chain 1, as I said. Now you turn and work row number 2, starting from here. If you have any doubts, let's count the stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I was mistaken. You need to start from here. This is 1, 9, and 10. And this is row number 2 of the B segment. Now I chain 1 and turn, and just like before, I will make my 10 single crochets. Now I need to attach my yarn with a slip stitch, which is done. Let me see here. Okay, so I am advancing in a way. Now once again, I will make another slip stitch in the following row, which is this one. And now I turn and work my 10 stitches. So that was row number 3, and now I work row number 4. So that was row number 4, chain 1, turn. Once again, my 10 single crochets. So that was 10. Once again, I will attach my yarn in the next row, which is here, with a slip stitch. And now I move up a row by slip stitching in the next border, row border. You see? Now I turn. That was row number 5, and now I work row number 6. Row number 6, chain 1, turn. Row number 7, ten, slip stitch in next row, and slip stitch in next row. So this is going to be row number 8. That was row number 8, chain 1, turn. Now row number 9. Ten. Now I slip stitch in the next row, and my last slip stitch is for row 10, which is done here right at the beginning of my segment C. Okay, so this is this will be the last row of the body segment. Now I turn, and I also wanted to show you how to weave in all of those tails and yarn ends that are left hanging, so you will not need to having to weave them in afterwards. You can very simply weave them in the work as you work. Okay, so like this. With the tail on the front, you will make single crochets over it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 10 here. Okay, chain 1. You can safely cut off this yarn end now. Turn your work. So this is the B segment finished. If you see that it's not so well aligned here, it's because this is the beginning chain, so this segment on this side looks a little bit different than all other segments you will encounter, but that's not a problem because this will be hidden in the work in time as you work around in spiraling rounds. So what happens now? You will keep on working as I've shown you, following the same technique. So here you will need to work a D segment, a decrease segment. Then you will need to change yarn, but this is all explained in the pattern. And then you will keep on working an increase pattern here. Then here you will make a B segment again. Okay, I'm attaching the rows to the beginning chain here, and then and you will see from the pattern itself what you need to do. You will keep on working decrease segments followed by increase segments followed by body segments and so on and so forth. Always following the instructions and the same directions given in this pattern. So I really hope this was helpful for you to see and learn the trickiest parts of this pattern, my Bag in Japan pattern. Don't worry if the piece looks a little bit crooked at first. First of all, you can check if you have made some mistakes with the rows or with the stitches. Also, this is made in the wonderful cotton by Hobby Yarn, so it can be easily be blocked, wet blocked or iron blocked at the end of the work, and it will look absolutely straight and beautiful. So, thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye!